Now on BBC World News, extensive live coverage and analysis of the UK general election results, presented by David Dimbleby.
Welcome to the BBC's Election Centre. 4 minutes from now, when Big Ben strikes 10, we can legally reveal the contents of this, our exit poll.
Hello, you're watching BBC World News. I'm Matthew Amroliwala, live in Westminster in London, where there's been a dramatic climax to the general election. The British Prime Minister David Cameron is heading for a majority and is hailing the victory of his governing Conservative Party as the sweetest in a generation. The main opposition Labour Party has failed to make a breakthrough and has lost a number of its heavyweight frontbench MPs. Questions now for the unity of Great Britain after the pro-independent Scottish National Party won 56 of the 59 seats in Scotland.
And I'm David Eades in the studio. Our other main news. Events are being held across Europe to mark the 70th anniversary of the end of World War II on the continent. They began in Poland. And stay with us through the day as we bring you coverage of ceremonies in Paris, London, Berlin, as well as Washington.
Hello and welcome from Westminster on the most dramatic of mornings, because everyone was wrong. The pollsters, the pundits, the political commentators, they had all predicted the tightest of UK elections, hung parliaments, all of that territory. But David Cameron has confounded the critics and is heading...
Matsuyama.
You are watching BBC World News. I'm Matthew Amroliwala, live in Westminster in London, where the Conservatives have won the general election. David Cameron is back at 10 Downing Street to begin his second term as Prime Minister, declaring he'd govern for all of Britain.
Together, we can make Great Britain greater still.
After a disastrous election night, the leaders of Labour, the Liberal Democrats and UKIP have all resigned their party leaderships. Questions now for the unity of Great Britain after the pro-independent Scottish National Party won 56 of the 59 seats in Scotland. Hello from Westminster after the most extraordinary 24 hours. Prime Minister David Cameron has confounded the critics and has already started work in his second term in office, this time with an outright majority. News live in Westminster, where Britain has chosen its new government. David Cameron's Conservatives will govern alone after confounding the polls to win an outright majority.
We will govern as a party of one nation, one united kingdom.
Defeated rival Ed Miliband quits as leader of the Labour Party, and Nick Clegg, who led the Liberal Democrats into the last coalition, also stands down after a disastrous showing. The pro-independent Scottish Nationalist Party wins all but 3 of the seats it contested, opening the way to calls for another referendum on the future of the United Kingdom. We'll look at what a result which no one was expecting will mean for one of the world's economic powerhouses.
Hello, I'm James Menendez, also on the programme this hour. Victory remembered. Events have been held across Europe and in the US to mark 70 years since the surrender of Nazi Germany.
Hello from Westminster on a day when British politics has once again thrown up the unexpected. For weeks, the opinion polls have been suggesting the UK was heading for a hung parliament, but voters have returned David Cameron to Downing Street, and this time with enough support for his Conservatives to govern alone.